Greetings, duelists, and welcome to another deck report. This is week 7 of season 7, which means it's the 7th week since the Forbidden Limited list that took into effect for Burst Protocol format. And I have a very interesting deck for you today. So, I'm going to make this video into two parts. The first part is the deck profile and talking about the concept behind the deck. And the second video that I'm going to make today, or going to profile today, is talking about X-Sabers in general. Because I feel like this archetype is not getting itself enough respect. And I wholeheartedly understand that it's not a really strong, viable deck in comparison to the other legendary modern decks that got printed. However, there are some things about X-Sabers that people actually, if they don't respect it, they're just going to outright lose the game, because there are nasty things this deck can do. But without further ado, let's go straight to the profile. This is a hybrid list. You can see the Superconduction Magnet Warrior here, and I will explain everything. But let's just get straight to the list. So, we got 3 Conduction Warriors, 3 Duotarians, 2 Betas, 2 Minus, 1 Plus, 1 Omega Plus, 1 Epsilon, 1 Thelusion, and 1 Researcher. These are the magnet cards that we're playing here. We will explain why the magnets are here in a little bit. But let's go with the actual X-Saber cards. So we got 3 Palina, 3 Bruno, 1 Garsam, 1 Bogart Knight, 1 Dark Soul, 1 Pashul, 1 Ragigura. So, for people who are unfamiliar, X-Sabers is an old deck back from 2010 or 2011, if I'm not mistaken. They debuted, I think it was part of a Dual Terminal series, but the deck kicked off in the TCG because of the Shining Darkness, I think it was called the set, where it debuted with Bogart Knight and with Dark Soul. So the concept behind X-Sabers is just to spam the board and just to break the board and to like amass card advantage against your opponent with all the monsters. The deck has a lot of extenders, and they have a lot of nasty synchros, and they have a few nasty spell cards. They just keep pumping out monsters after monsters and amassing card advantage. There is one gimmick that X-Sabers have that is in the extra deck, and it's not a fun gimmick. It's a gimmick that we've already seen in the past, and Konami has addressed that gimmick in the Forbidden list, which is one of the main reasons why I actually think X-Sabers doesn't feel like that bad, like into the current format. But we'll get to that. I'll explain what all the X-Sabers do in a minute and why each one has their own role. Non-engine, we got 3 Fuas, 2 Drolls. We're only playing these 5. We're not playing that many non-engine. This is a very engine-heavy deck. The magnet cards are really good into boards, so I felt like I just wanted the most impactful non-engine. Perulia was also in here. However, I wanted to play 40 cards. This is mostly theory, but I have had a few practice duels with it. Maybe on later duels, we will adapt the strategy with other non-engine. Or maybe you guys, the viewers, who are interested in playing this hybrid, can figure out what non-engine just fits you perfectly for this deck. That's it for monsters. For spells, we got a few. We got Saber combination and Gotham's second call. We'll explain these. You got Small World. The Sabers can bridge into magnets, but magnets cannot properly bridge into sabers. So that's why Small World is in here. It's just more consistency into our saber cards. It does come out in the legendary decks, so it was very fitting that that card was in there. We got 3 magnet bonding, best spell card, and the last spell is 3 emergency teleport. One of the saber monsters is a psychic, and that psychic saber monster just kickstarts a lot of our engine. So that's it for those. Now let's explain all the saber cards. So let's start with the monsters first, and we'll get to the spells. So Helena on summon immediately sends itself to the graveyard to summon 2 saber monsters from the deck. There is only one hand trap in the game that stops this if you're going first, and that card is Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. No other hand trap stops this effect because it is an unsummoned trigger effect. So this dodges Imperm, Veiler, Ghost Mourner. If you don't have a card on board, this dodges Dominus Impulse. Like, only Ash Blossom is the only hand trap that stops this card. Cypher Gear Gamma is another one if you want to count that one. So there are technically 2 hand traps that stop this. So Helena summons 2 sabers from the deck, except for herself. And the sabers that you are typically going to summon are between Bruno, Bogart, Garsem, Pashul, Ragigura, and Dark Soul. So some people don't know what the X-Sabers cards do, so I will explain the old ones. Bogart Knight on normal summon can summon another saber from their hand. Garsem, upon being destroyed, can add you a saber. Pachul is a level 2 tuner that it cannot be destroyed by battle. Ragigura, upon summon, can grab you and the saber from your graveyard, and this is not once per turn. There are some loops with this card. Dark Soul, during the end phase, adds you a saber. And Bruno, which is a new one, Bruno can banish an earth monster from your hand, field, or graveyard to summon itself. This is the reason why we're playing the magnet cards. This card has a lot of synergy with them because all the magnets are earths. And upon summon, this can add you a saber spell. The saber spells that we're playing are Saber Combination and Gotham Second Call. The last effect of Bruno is that during your opponent's turn, as a quick effect, you can synchro summon into anything in your extra deck as long as the materials are earth, which is another really cool thing this deck has as a gimmick, and another reason why the magnet cards are good with this. So we got these 2 cards. We got Saber Combinations and Gotham's Second Call. We'll start with Saber Combination first. So Saber Combination, what it does is, if there are 10 sabers in any combination, doesn't matter if it's the same name, from your field, banishment, and graveyard, all these saber monsters have their attack increased by their defense. So it makes it super easy to OTK. That effect does not come up in this build. It does come up in the original Saber build, the pure one. And the other effect is, if you summon a saber from your extra deck, you can summon a saber from your main deck. It is hard once per turn for that effect. Then we got Gotham's Second Call. This has a very simple effect. If you control a saber synchro monster, you can special summon 2 sabers from your graveyard, ignoring their summoning conditions. Their attack is 0, and they get destroyed during the end phase. So essentially, this is like a double extender. So now you know all the Saber cards and what they do. Let's talk about other reasons why the magnet cards are here. So Researcher can make Saber synchros if you like use these cards. You might as well see. Let's look at the extra deck real quick. So there are 3 Saber synchros in our extra deck, and they all require the same materials. The materials are one tuner, and the non-tuners have to be Earth monsters. Take note, the non-tuners can be even. They can even be tuners, so you can use multiple tuners to make these. And the monsters are X-Saber Gothams, double X-Saber Gothams, and Commander Sosa, the Swordmaster. Saber Gothams, upon summon, can add you a Saber spell, so you can add any of these two. In the graveyard, if your opponent attacks a Saber, this can summon itself from the graveyard, and you can redirect the attack to this. And this triggers to add a spell on summon as well. So on later turns, if this is in your graveyard, they try to attack you, you summon, redirect the attack, and add any of the Saber spells. And I think those are. I think you can also discard a random card for your opponent if this card inflicts battle damage, which can come up. Then we have double X-Saber Gothams. So this has a very simple effect, and this is the reason why you should be afraid of X-Sabers. The effect is tribute a Saber monster to send that card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard. This is not once per turn. So yes, there are hand loop shenanigans with this card. Like, this is basically Evil Swarm Ouroboros all over again. And then you got Commander Sosa. This is not an X-Saber by name, by the given name, but this is always treated as an X-Saber. This gains attack for each banished monster by 200. If this destroys a monster by battle, you draw a card. And if this card, if your opponent activates any card, you can tribute a Saber to pop a card. That effect is once per turn, sadly. And if this card is to be destroyed, you can banish a Saber to prevent its destruction. This card is okay. Like, I'm thinking of cutting it, but it is actually very easy to make in this deck, and you can like start getting card advantage out of it. And since this is a Saber monster that summons from the extra deck, this does trigger Saber combination. So yeah, that's it for this. So Researcher can make Sosa with Illusion, or it can make the Gothams with the Conduction Warrior, or with any of the fusions. Which, speaking of fusions, we got Fluxation Field, and you got the Plasma Magnum. So Conduction Field is very interesting in this deck because the materials for this is a level 5 or higher Earth monster and a rock. So you can shuffle back your Sabers to make this if you want to. And this is also level 7, so this can make Gothams with the Researcher. So if you have Saber combination in your hand, and you go through all your regular magnet plays, Saber combination can kickstart your entire combo into X-Sabers. Not only that, you have the Saber Gothams on your board, which means after you start flooding your field with Sabers, you can just try tributing all the Sabers to just get slash your opponent's hand entirely with Gothams. We'll show you that combo in a bit. So another thing about this deck is Naturia Beast. This deck can make all the Naturia synchros very easily with either the Saber monsters or the Magnet monsters. Like, they're all Earths and there are tuners in the archetype. So these are all the synchros that I'm playing on this build. But if you want to go heavy on Bruno's effect, like the legendary decks come with some amazing synchros. Like, some of these synchros are just really powerful, and they amass a lot of card advantage. You can even start like expanding on your hand loop shenanigans with Cloud Castle as well. Like, if you want to go the Bruno route, you could play these cards. But I wanted to be very flexible with my extra deck, so I'm not doing that. I only play like these 4 synchros. I might cut Commander Sosa, like I said earlier, and if I play the defensive route with Bruno, we can just play another defensive synchro, like for example the Black Rose Dragons. So other extra deck cards, we got 2 Flux Ocean Field. Some people play 2 Plasma Magnum instead of 2 Flux. I prefer Flux because it's just more versatile. It's a lot more flexible. It's a lot easier to make in this variant since it's a hybrid. For XYZs, you got Typhon, Baguska, Dracosac, Granite. Granite is how you bridge into magnets with your Saber monsters. I'll show you that combo in a bit as well. And then for Link monsters, we got Cross Sheep, IPSP, and Zilthonia. I want to play Underworld Goddess. I kind of forgot about her when I was making this profile or building this deck. That might be the cut for Sosa. So now that you saw the deck, let's show you some combos. First combo I'm gonna show you involves Saber combination. Let's say you have the Conduction Warrior alongside Saber combination. This combo is a lot stronger with Emergency Teleport, but I'm just showing you this in the off chance you actually draw this card. So we activate the Saber, we'll summon the Conduction. If you see the Magnet combos, you already know what we're doing here. We're going to send these 2. So Sigma Warrior just brings back Beta. Beta is going to grab you Sigma minus. Sigma minus and Beta is going to fuse. We're going to make the Plasma Magnum. Plasma Magnum is going to add you Magnet Bonding. We're going to activate the Magnet Bonding. We're going to add Epsilon. And for those who haven't seen magnet combos in the past, this is like the typical magnet combos that you do. You're going to use Plasma Magnum. You're going to send Solution for cost. That summons the Epsilon. Epsilon effect. You dump Omega as cost. Its name is now Omega Plus. It will resolve and it will summon either the Sigma Plus or the Sigma minus. You already have Solution in graveyard, so you can summon either of them. It really doesn't matter. We're at this point right here. So we got these 4 monsters on the board. With these 2, you overlay into the Gallant Granite. Gallant Granite is going to detach. This will add you Researcher. Researcher summon. And now we activate the Saber combination. So there are a few ways to do what we're about to do. If you want to combo off more neatly, you need to make more room for your cards. You ideally might want to keep the Plasma Magnum and make Cross Sheep. That is one option. We're just gonna link these 2 away. We're just gonna make IP on this point. So there's IP. And now with these 2, you're going to make the Gothams. And now Saber combination triggers because you summon the Saber monster for your extra deck, which means Saber combination is going to summon a Saber from the deck. The Saber that we're summoning is Palina. Palina on summon, sends herself to a graveyard, and she's going to summon 2 more Saber monsters. And you can summon anything here. There are a lot of different combinations you can do. Like, the one that I like the most is Bruno plus Ragigura. Bruno upon summon is going to add you another Saber spell. Ragigura on summon can just grab you from the graveyard. And like, it's optional to grab from the graveyard, but you will see this effect will come up. So we're going to add the Gotham's second call. So the Gotham's second call is right here. So we're at this point. You're going to use the Gotham's. You snipe 1. Gotham's again. You snipe 2. So that's already 2 cards out of their hand that you took out with the Gotham's. Now you're going to activate the Gotham's second call. Since we control a Saber monster from the extra deck, we get to summon 2 Sabers back. So you summon Ragigura and you summon Polina. Ragigura is going to grab Bruno back to your hand. You can do more things. You can snipe the rest of your opponent's hand with the Gotham's. We already sniped 2 cards out of your opponent's hand. We're going to use Bruno. We summon Bruno. We banish from the graveyard. Let's banish this Gallant Granite. Just for example. You use Gotham's. Tribute the Bruno. That's a 3rd card out of their hand. You can Gotham's again. 4th card. And with Polina and Ragigura, you are going to make Naturia Beast. And to finish the combo, you're going to use Death Illusion, banishing the plus and the minus. And this is your Emperor. Your opponent starts with 4 less cards in their hand, so they're starting with 1 or 2 cards. If they hand trapped you, their hand is entirely gone. You have IP interaction with the Illusion. The Illusion is also an interruption, and Naturia Beast is just a spell negate. So yeah, this is really strong. Like, this is essentially an FTK if you think about it that way. And this is why the Saber cards are just really, really strong. Like, in combination with like other themes. So that was the Saber combo with the Saber combination. Let's show a few other combos. Let's put everything back. So for this next combo, we're going to use Polina. Just Polina. Polina is going to bridge you into both archetypes, and Polina will also make it so you actually hand rip your opponent's cards as well. And again, only Ash Blossom and Gamma stops this card. Like, and if you get Fuwa lost, there is a linchpin that you can do in the deck. I guess I can show you what happens if you get Fuwa'd. So normal Polina effect sends to the graveyard. Let's say your opponent chained Fuwa over there. So if we looked at all our Sabers, right? Like, let's show you all the Saber combinations that we have. So these are the 6 with Bruno. These are the 6 different Sabers that you can summon, right? So depending on your hand or non-engine or your other engines or whatever, you can summon these 2, and that makes Baguska, and Baguska is basically your like your half-board contention against the Fuwa. That's the reason Garsem and Bogart Knight are here specifically. If your rest of your hand or if you have a non-engine is good enough, these 2 can make Naturia Beast. And you have like basically a spell negate, and you cut your opponent's resources by half, especially if they're playing Radiant Typhoon. Or the other thing with this is if you choose to play Saber traps in your deck, Bruno can add you one of them, and then one of the other synchros can, the Gotham synchro, can also add you a second trap. So this is in the off chance you actually do play the traps. I would think siding the traps is a good idea, but let's say you have these two cards. I'm trying to find the other one. So another half board that you can make against the Fua is with Bruno, you add one of the traps. This is basically the same thing as the spell card, but as a trap card. The Gotham's Call. And you can add this. If you control a Saber, you negate a summon. An inherent summon. So there are multiple traps that you can play in this deck. So that is a contention you have with these. But let's say you don't get Fuad, right? So if we don't get Fuad, Kalina is just going to summon these two, which is the right combination that you want to have. And with Bruno, you're going to add the Saber combination. You add the Saber combination, and with these two, you make the level 7 Gothams. So you make X-Saber Gothams. Both Gothams and Saber combination are going to trigger. With Saber combination, we're going to summon Ragigura. And with the Gothams, we're going to add the Gotham's Call, the second call. So we're here at this point. Ragigura is going to trigger, and Ragigura is going to add Bruno to our hand. So we're at this point. So we're now going to activate the Gotham's second call. And this brings back these two. Gotham's call goes to grave. And these two make the Gallant Granite. And Gallant Granite can add you your Conduction Warrior. And this is basically full magnet combo. Depending on your hand, or depending on other combinations, instead of Ragigura, you can summon Pashul. And with the Pashul and the Gothams, you can make the level 9 Gothams. Or you can add Researcher if you already have your magnet set up. And with Researcher plus Gothams, you make the level 9 Gothams. And that's 3 hand rips with itself, Ragigura, and Bruno. I'm just gonna show you the rest of the combo since we're at this point. So you go Conduction Warrior, summon itself, send 2. So we're sending this. We're sending Beta. Sigma Plus brings back Beta. Beta adds the Sigma Minus. So we're at this point. You notice that our field is clogged, so we need to start making room to summon more things. So one thing that we're going to do here is we're going to grab the Gallant Granite and the Conduction Warrior, and we're going to make Cross Sheet. So we're here at this point. We're going to use the Plasma. Use these two. Make the Plasma Magnum. Plasma Magnum will add. Cross Cheap will summon from the graveyard. With Cross Cheap, we're bringing back Polina. And the Plasma is going to add. We're going to add the Magnet Bonding. So we're here at this point. These two can make Naturia Beast. So we're here at this point. If you do your typical magnet stuff, you go Magnet Bonding, add Epsilon, use Plasma Magnum, Sense Illusion, summon Epsilon, Epsilon, dump Omega Plus, and reborn any of the other ones. So we're here at this point. And this is where the Souza will come in if you want to like use Souza with Bruno. But yeah, like you have a pretty much a full board. There's a lot of different combinations here. You can even just not do the magnet stuff and just keep magnet bonding and use the magnet bonding to make Flux Ocean Field on your opponent's turn. And Flux is just another interruption. You can make IP, like with some of these monsters as well. Like, and just have IP SP, and you just bring back your solution. Like, there's a lot of really cool things you can do. And this was all from just Polina. Like, Polina herself did everything. And this is why I think like the Saber cards are kind of cool. Like, I would do a lot more combos and show you like a lot more lines, but I think you got the gist of it. This is basically a deck building experiment that I have. I think this is, if this is very well built, this can be a really, very scary deck, because a lot of really good decks right now are decks that are playing a lot of breakers. Like, Sky Striker topped a lot of regionals this past weekend. And if you go first against Sky Striker, I don't think they're winning that game. Like, and like the boards that people are making nowadays, outside of like the Azamina Yummy cards, they're not really that strong boards that you cannot break with this deck. Baguska is just a really good like contention plan as well. You can play Nibiru and just add Nibiru with Gallant Granite. You can shave off a few of the Saber cards and just play more on an engine if you want to. Yeah, I hope you found this deck informative to your liking and understanding. I really do like X-Sabers. I am an old head. I've been playing this game competitively since 2010, and that was when X-Sabers were at their prime. So even though I never played X-Sabers myself back then, I was playing other decks like Scrap and Cyber Dragons and stuff like that. I actually really like the gimmick behind X-Sabers, and even though X-Sabers are not at like the best level compared to Striker and Mitsurugi, I think there are some really strong gimmicks behind the deck that just makes it really hard to ignore, at least for a heavy combo player like I am. Until next time, keep practicing and keep dueling.